Move on now to some casting news. Now that the SAG strikes have ended, we're starting to get a ton of different kind of news as well. So the first one we got is for James Gunn's Superman Legacy. So Nicholas Hoult has been cast as Lex Luthor. Nayan, what do you think about that? Is Nicholas Hoult the right fit for this film?
Third time's a charm, eh? Because he originally auditioned to be Batman in Batman, and then he originally auditioned to be Superman in Superman Legacy, and now he's Lex Luthor. I think it's a great casting choice. You know, Nicholas Hoult is super talented. You know, he is Lex Luthor is an intimidating figure, but not by looks or anything. It's by words and his intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Nicholas Hoult definitely has the look of that really down, and his acting style. I feel he'll be able to portray that intimidation through words rather than physical appearance, you know, and show like his cool calculatedness towards Superman. Because I mean, Lex Luthor is not intimidated by Superman, but at all. You know, like he knows exactly what makes Superman tick and his weaknesses, and he's not afraid to, you know, stab him with kryptonite or something like that. And I think Nicholas Hoult was going to be great for that. I know that he portrayed Beast, who is not a similar character, but you know, he's still an intelligent sort of
That's
character.
true. I forgot about him being that.
Yeah. And because Beast is quite intellectual as well, so he can bring that sort of aspect to it, but then in a villain sort of spin and just more cool. When I say cool, I mean like cold.
Yeah.
And calculatedness, you know. You know, whenever he gives an order to his minion, like it's just chilling. And I think Nicholas Hoult will be able to nail that really well. How he'll look bald is a different story. But hey.
So you said that it's not Bryan Cranston being Lex Luthor as everyone.
I think
that's a major fan cast.
Yeah. I think that is definitely like, you know, when we talk about Reed Richards, it's always John Krasinski.
I don't think, not anymore after Doctor Strange.
But you know, it's like the big one, you know. I think Bryan Cranston was a huge one to play Lex Luthor, especially after Breaking Bad, because he can pull off the bored look, he can pull off that cool
intimidation, like intellectually,
he can just pretty much be Walter White.
Yeah.
Really?
No, yeah, for sure. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I know that it will be good, and I trust James Gunn in his casting. He's always been quite good with casting the roles in his movies, so it is one that's hard to envision. I think it might be because I haven't seen the greatest of Lex Luthor's, or I haven't seen great Lex Luthor portrayals. So I don't really know how to envision anyone in that role because I don't know how that role looks great.
Have you seen Smallville?
I know.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend my time watching that. Is that a great portrayal of Lex Luthor?
Probably the best live action we've got, for sure. I think Lex Luthor in the animated series back in the 90s is the best like version of Lex we'll ever get. You know, the voice actor in that was actually the old guy in Gen V, the one that Fireboy killed.
Fireboy.
I forgot.
Golden Boy.
Golden Boy,
yeah.
Killed. He was actually the original voice actor for Lex Luthor in that. And I think, that's just fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, like, still across the board, I guess Lex Luthor hasn't had true justice done to him on a live action scale.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to expect to get that role right. So I trust James Gunn to find a way to make sure that it's as good as it possibly can be. And I guess Nicholas Hoult deserves his time. He's still quite young. I think at 33 years old. David Corenswet, I think 26, 27 maybe.
Yeah, I think the ages between them is perfect. You know, a young Superman, and then Nicholas Hoult is still that right age to be a billionaire sort of person. You know? He's not like old.
Maybe if he's not even like a billionaire, it's like the rise of Lex Luthor. Maybe not him being like already established Lex Luthor kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think if that's what James Gunn is going for with this universe, having them both be young and build them up together, I think that's kind of perfect then. I think they're going to balance each other out really well, and we're going to get some really good battles down the line. Maybe not on Superman Legacy, but I don't know. It can be very interesting. And yeah, I like the idea of the cast being young for this. And I mean, we didn't have the podcast back when Batman vs Superman days, but I remember being very like before the film came out, very against the idea of having an aged Batman when you're trying to start your universe. To me, that made no sense. It should be the origin of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it made no sense. So I'm glad it shows that they're learning a little bit here and being like, okay, we'll start fresh. We'll start with like the young cast and we'll build them up through time. So hopefully that's what they're going for. But another piece of news for it, and this is one I don't really know too much about. Skyler Gisondo cast as Jimmy Olsen in Superman Legacy. So, how do you feel about that one?
I barely know any of his work.
Mm-hmm.
But just based on looks alone, I think he's a good, Jimmy Olsen. He looks like a Jimmy Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure he'll do a good job. I haven't seen any of his work or significant work, where he's been a main character rather than a side character.
Yeah.
So it's a bit hard to comment on this one, but just based on looks alone, yeah, it's good.
Interesting, because I'm on the other side of that. I've seen a lot of his work, and I don't know much about Jimmy Olsen. Is Jimmy Olsen like a Harry Osborn kind of type of character?
Yes and no. He's more. It's like a little sidekick almost to like
just Superman,
to mainly Lois Lane and Clark, because he works for the Daily Planet, and then.
Oh right, so he's like a little Peter Parker in a way, without the superhero powers. Yeah,
pretty much like that. And there's been different personalities for him. There's been one where he's been like, your typical sidekick sort of character, and then DC reinvented him to be a bit more like aggressive.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, so does he get like powers in the end?
No, it's just
what do you mean aggressive? Run around, hit people in the newsroom?
I don't know. It was weird to see, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just going through his stuff on IMDb, and like I'm seeing a lot of this stuff. Yeah, because he's been on a lot of bad Netflix productions, and when I'm with mates or with somebody, we put on really bad Netflix stuff, and you kind of just laugh at how shit it is. And so I've seen a lot of them through that. He's a good comedy actor. Like he's just funny and kind of got good comedic timing. I don't know if that applies to Jimmy Olsen, but if it does, then I think he can do a good job.
He does have some quips here and there.
Yeah, he definitely looks the part, based on the very small thing I've seen him on so far. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully it works out. Another thing, I think we trust James Gunn with this, and yeah, it's gonna be good. Moving on now to